do. Hi, thank you for joining me for this event. This is really fun. I think I maybe have been bouncing around too much because I haven't really been at the beginning of anything. So now I'm panicked. Like, what is the beginning supposed to be? I've sort of been like swimming around all the sessions. Maybe that's you too. My name is Sophie Lucido Johnson. I'm a New Yorker cartoonist, and I think I'm a memoirist. I've written a couple of memoirs, and I've written quite a few things for Medium that I've really enjoyed writing. I think writing for Medium is such a pleasure. And today we're going to be talking about writing little pep talks for Medium. I've had some really good success on Medium, and whenever I give talks about making a career as a writer, I always speak to making money on Medium because I think that it's a wonderful platform for that. So at the sessions I've been to today, I've thought there should be more visual aids. So that's when I brought out this easel. But then I also noticed that all the words are like backwards, so I can't write on the easel. Okay, but so then I remembered that I went to Goodwill recently and purchased giant flashcards with animals on them. I hope it's okay that I'm starting. I'm just going to do it. Well, I don't know. How amazing is this flashcard? Can you believe this was just at Goodwill? And it came in a package with other flashcards like this. And on the back, it says hamster in 2 languages. I didn't know what I was going to do with this. I actually bought it like 3 years ago. But now I know. Now I'm using it as a visual aid for our talk today. And it is as a visual aid to tell you that, okay, you know what? We're answering the question of how do we come up with like what to write. I think this session is under self-improvement, and I think that we're going to get there. But the hamster is for the first topic, which I think the sunflowers. The first topic is what did you need someone to tell you last week? So when I'm thinking of what to write, I'm often thinking about what did I need somebody to tell me last week. See, this is me last week. I'm having a hard week. So a couple of things that often I need to be told are I was doing too much stuff. You were doing too much stuff. Sammy wasn't mad at you. You're going to have cake in the pantry. So a lot of times the pieces that I have on Medium that are most successful, or the pieces that I write that are most successful, are pieces that are just me talking to me in the past a week ago. It's me in the past a week ago. So I'm starting just looking back a week. If you need to give yourself a pep talk 1 week ago, what would you say to yourself? All right, hamster. If I'm looking for something that has a little more depth, then I'm going to go to monkey. What did you need someone to tell you last year? So think back to, and I'm asking you to do this. Think back to yourself 1 year ago today. What is something that you wish somebody could tell you? If you could go back a year in time and tell yourself something, like what is the thing you would tell yourself? And this is actually a journal prompt I give myself, I don't know, once a month or so. It's a really handy journal prompt. So some of the things I would like to tell myself a year ago: you're not going to get that job, but something better is coming along. So just wait for it. Spend time with your kid right now because she's going to just change. Bernardo sucks. There are 3 million red flags. So I would journal into that. I'm a person who definitely wants to set a timer when I'm gonna journal. So I would journal into that for about 10 minutes, and I would write it in second person to myself, dear Sophie, here, like as though I'm writing to a past self. Then I'm able to shape that into an essay or a pep talk for an actual other person, and those tend to really do well on Medium. See, that's me a year ago, looking good. Okay. And then we get to like sort of the really good stuff, which is sort of like, what would you tell yourself when you were a child? So I would dig into this a little bit and ask you, I'm wondering if anybody out there, I don't know if you can chat with me. I think can you? I don't see anything. I am currently not able to see any interactions with anyone there. But I'm wondering if anybody has any of their old diaries or journals, anything that you've ever held on to in your time on the planet. I kept all of mine. I pulled some off of my shelf. This one is from when I was 14, and I like the assignment to give yourself the assignment of if you have any of these things, they don't have to be old. They can be from fairly recently, to pull them out, and you can read them back and just write back to this person. What did this person need you to say to her or him or them? I don't know. I'm wondering if these still, it's weird. Like, why did we keep these? Maybe you didn't, maybe you threw yours away, or maybe you never wrote in them in the first place. Did you ever have ones that were shiny and had happy faces on them? I actually wrote a whole book around this topic. And so here's the book. It's like Dear Sophie, Love Sophie. And it was actually published by HarperCollins. So there's a market for this. And if you're thinking to yourself, well, you already wrote that book, and so I can't write it. I would say, I think that there's a lot of value in doing this practice for anyone. So even if you don't have a diary or a journal, writing a letter to your younger self, or a version of you who is gone now, I think there's a lot of brain science around. I know that there's a lot of brain science around why we should do that work. So I was going to just quickly read from some of the research I did on that. The experiment of writing back to your younger self. My hope is that this experiment offers you a chance to reflect on who you are and who you were, what your dreams were, who you thought you'd be, the humans you kissed or didn't, the tears you cried or stoically held back, the demons that might not have let you. Brain science is with me on this. The stuff that happened to you when you were a kid is almost definitely still with you. If you experienced trauma, there's a whole section of your brain committed to working through that trauma. That part of your brain, the hippocampus, goes crazy when it's triggered by something that reminds you of the pain from your past. Your brain wants to help you heal, but it needs time and dedicated space. So writing through this is a really good first step. And then stuff can pop up that, might really fit nicely into an essay or something that you might want to put onto the internet. So I wrote this paragraph, and just bear with me quickly while I read this one to you too. What exactly is it that I'm asking you to do? I'm asking you to pay attention to the person you were and see if there are things you still have to work through. Maybe you have a diary you can read and write back to. Maybe you have a sibling you can sit down and talk with. No matter how you do it, I'm asking you to make some space and time for young you and to see what comes up. The stakes are high. This is work we all need to do to make a world better than it is now for the humans who come next. Souls in pain have to work 5 times as hard, at least, to get the good work done, and we should all be able to agree that there is good work to be done. And I did this all in images. Sorry, that maybe I should have said that. So I do a lot of my work in drawings, and you can draw also. Maybe you didn't know that you could draw. So I feel really strongly about that too. So I was going to just show you that you can draw a bird, if you didn't know that. And incorporating these visuals into your posts is really easy as well. So just quickly show you how to do a bird today. You can do this right now. If you have like a piece of paper in front of you, you can do it right now. So you want to start with a blob. Okay, I didn't think that blob through before I drew it. I feel nervous, so that's not a very good blob, and I've really created a challenge for myself. I just thought blob, but you can do any kind of blob that you want. Okay, now we want to add a tail. That's the second thing that your bird needs. The tail just wants to stick up. Okay, done. I would recommend you then color this in, but I don't know that we have time. But here's one thing that you would do next is birds have wings. So just give them a wing. Easy. A wing. Now all the bird needs is two more things. He needs a leg and a beak and an eye. That's three. I'm not into math. Okay, we did it. We drew this bird. What if your article isn't about birds? What if it's about cars? Okay, well, you can just have your bird say the word cars, and then you have an original piece of artwork for your Medium post. Really, really easy. No problem. We just did that in, I think, 1 minute. How do you scan this? Adobe Scan is free, and it makes really beautiful scans that are way better than just taking a picture with your phone. Adobe Scan, and also Google Photo, which will remove the glare if you want to take a picture with your phone. Okay, another tool that I really like to use is when I'm struggling and I don't know what I want to draw and I want to like do something visually interesting. I use randomizers. So I just buy cheap decks of cards. This is a Linda Berry trick. So this one is okay. Yes. So this one is I'm seeing a good question in the comments. I'm just going to quickly speak through this deck of cards. This one is a deck that has different prompts for how to draw a self-portrait. So I have like a really clear set of expectations for myself when doing a self-portrait, which is that the self-portrait cannot take longer than 3 minutes. And to time a self-portrait, I choose a song that is 3 minutes long. So I don't like to use a timer on my watch when I'm drawing. I like to use music. And I just write a lot of different prompts for things that a person can be doing. So this one says, as a French person. And this one says, as a Viking. So what I would do is draw myself as one of those things. And the rule with drawing a person when you feel like you don't know how to draw is yes, you do. So drawing a person is just, my 1-year-old really likes this circle and triangle. That's it. Now we've drawn our person. Everything else is just, so we want to never do stick people. It just limits us. Circle, triangle, and then everything else we do, well, we can use the stick person like mentality, but it won't look like a stick person as long as I have these two sort of blobs. This is a good method to draw people when you're trying to add an illustration to a piece of writing that has to do with yourself. So Daniel asks, do you just write or is there a process? Steps to take. This comment is with respect to childhood trauma. Yeah, absolutely. So for this particular exercise, I do this as literally like I'm writing a letter. When I first started, I would take out letter writing stationery and set it up in front of me with an envelope and everything, and pretend like I was writing to a different person who wasn't me. Putting myself into third person made this a lot easier. So I would think about what I would tell somebody else and write. So be writing in second person. Dear Sophie, I know here's what I know you're going through, and here's what I'd like to tell you about that. The process is the same as if you were writing to a child or to somebody that you didn't know, and then you read it back in your own body. It's not something I invented. It's a therapy tool. When you're wanting to use it to write an essay, you move through it and see what in this letter is something that everybody might benefit from hearing. And you want to distill that into one sentence. So a good example, something that has been salient for me is your to-do list is too long, which feels like that has nothing to do with trauma. But if you're writing back to somebody who has written like a long diary entry that is like, I have to, do this, and this. There's like no time to do anything. I'm not getting any sleep. I'm barely eating. I'm miserable. When you can distill that idea and then figure out a way to create an essay for other people to read, then you've managed to take your letter and project it out towards others. And Daniel, thank you for asking your question. We have moved into the part of the talk where I am meant to open it up for questions. If you don't ask me questions, I'm going to pull things off of my shelf and tell you what they are. I'm glad that Daniel has asked a question because it shows me that it's possible for questions to be asked. Seems like what you want me to do is pull things off of the shelf and tell you what they are. Okay. I'm happy to do it. A couple of other like writing tools that I like to keep on hand are these. I always keep these are called Frixon. So what they are they're like hand stamps. I maybe this is they're too small to fit on the easel. Here we go. I'll put them on my notepad here. Okay, so these are $1. You can buy them on the website jetpens.com. So one important thing that I'll say as a joke writer, this is kind of moving over to the side, is that I wonder if you have had this experience of I'm trying to think of an idea or a joke and I'm really struggling to come up with the idea. And I think that it's really important to figure out what is your doodling style. So I think that this is a really good tool. These come in, so that's the heart. You've seen the heart. The heart is a very basic one. This one I think is basic too. I have a lot of basic ones. So that's the star, but we also have this little guy that says, okay. This is the book. So you make a pattern with your Frixion, and this is like really meditative. And as you start making your meditative pattern, that's how you start thinking, and then you start doodling around your stamp pattern. I am a person who believes very strongly that doodling is the first step to writing, and that I have to be drawing in order to start writing, but because I think that you use both sides of your brain when you're writing. So in order to get started with the writing process, I'm gonna, like today I sat with my writing partner. We write New Yorker jokes every Saturday. And I went out onto my deck. It's a beautiful day here in Chicago. And I took out my watercolors and I'm just like painting cats. The only way that I'm going to find any jokes is if I'm painting cats, because the jokes are just floating around in the air, but you can't be looking for them because they're, going to get scared if you're just searching for them. So if you're doodling, they'll kind of start to creep up on you. That sounds very whimsical, but, there's thoughts that then I have to start thinking intentionally, which are, what are some things that I've been noticing, that are going on in the, that I'm noticing my friends saying, or that I'm noticing are going on in the, in the world. And, as long as the fact that I'm not drawing right now is making it difficult for me to talk to you. It's much easier to speak when I am moving my hand around and drawing. So I find these to be like a really good tool, and they're really fun also to like put on the back of an envelope. Okay. Let's see, what other tools do we have over here to show you? I do write all of my letters on the back of my New Yorker pad. I like to use these page-a-day calendars to write notes on. Then I have, I don't know, you probably can't see, but this is, do you guys have, anybody else have a typeface drawer? This is my typeface drawer, and I have it filled with my wooden stamps that I kind of wish I used wooden stamps more often, but I don't. From New Orleans, so we have a lot of babies. Got to put your babies, in your envelopes when you're sending mail. Only to very special people. I wish I could take you like around the studio. I don't know. I also have a lot of these signs that say, you are doing a good enough job, hanging everywhere. I think good enough has got to be good enough. All right. Let's draw more things, unless there's more questions. I guess we're going to draw more things. I'm going to just show you how to do another one of the drawings. We're just going to do one. Here we go. Shuffle. So Medium told us to just prepare 15 minutes and then expect to answer questions for 15 minutes. So that's what we were prepared to do. Okay, here we go. I wish that you guys could draw the card, but you can't. Well, this is a weird one. The card, it says to draw myself in the hospital. Draw me in the hospital. Okay, let's do it. Why not? Let's just do it. I only pulled 2 colors. Any opinions? Blue or black? No? Okay. Okay. So the last time I did this, I think I made myself the nurse. Maybe this time I should put myself like at a vending machine. Okay. So using this technique, you're going to always start with the circle. In the hospital, okay, always start with the circle. You're lying in the bed. Circle, triangle. It's always going to be circle, triangle. I'm happy because I love this hospital. And I'm going to I'll tell you right now, I find lying down to be really difficult to draw. But a lot of drawing is just believing that you can draw anything. And I started drawing because I was dating an artist who had filled my home with his artwork, and then he broke up with me. And then I had no artwork. I mean, I had to take it all down. and I didn't know what to do. And I realized I'd spent all this money buying him art supplies. And I thought maybe I should make art myself. And somebody told me I couldn't. I was too old. Like, you have to learn when you're young. And even then I remember being like, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous there's no age. There's very few things for which there are age limits. I mean, there's like, body, but art, certainly not. And really, like, the thing with art is you want it to be clear what it is that you're drawing. So my person is obviously lying down. It isn't obvious she's in the hospital. And it's like, still, it's getting there, but because I made myself so happy, it's less clear. But now I've put this nurse there, and I don't think anyone would doubt. This took me 2 minutes. Clearly, this person is in the hospital, happily lying on a bed. Are we going to say this is like a good drawing? No. But I wasn't scared to draw it. And I bet that when you draw a card that says draw yourself in the hospital, a thought you might have is like, I don't know I'm going to do that. And the answer is you start with a circle and a triangle, and then you just try. You can draw anything. You just kind of have to believe that you can. I really believe that pretty strongly. And I love a bad drawing. I just love it. I love a bad drawing by me, and I love a bad drawing by anybody else. It makes me so sad when somebody like crumples up a piece of paper thinking that something was wrong with their drawing. What a joy to be able to draw. Something that other animals don't get to do. I don't think. Elephants, I hear, and chimpanzees. Oh, another moderation thing came up on the bottom. It's possible I just don't understand how to use Medium. But somebody, Daniel Smith, asked a question. Thanks, Daniel Smith. That was really nice. That was the highlight of this session for me. All right. You know what? It's 2:28. I feel like we got through everything that I planned for us to talk about. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you for spending time with me. And I think that now you can leave me. I think we've had fun, and it's been weird. Goodbye.